Welcome to the Transum Podcast, a monthly roundup of the new features on the transum.org website, providing mathematical puzzles, games, learning activities, and the ever-popular mathematics lesson starter of the day. Here's your host, John Tranter.
Happy Christmas! And welcome to the December 2016 edition of the Transum Mathematics Podcast. We'll begin, as usual, with the puzzle for this month. How many positive two-digit numbers are there whose square and cube both end in the same digit? Okay, thinking time allowed. So I'll run through the other things in this podcast and the answer will be at the end. Right, this month in fact, we have 7 new resources that were added to the Transum website last month, and here they go in no particular order. Number 1 is called First Impressions. Bit of a strange thing, this, not your typical maths exercise at all. But I was given the idea to create this fun data collecting application by Year 13 students working on projects, including the chi-square test. It was proving difficult and time-consuming for them to collect their own data in sufficient quantities in order to meaningfully apply statistical tests. So First Impressions, this online app, asks the pupil for their initial perceptions of optical illusions. These are nothing new actually, they're old classic pictures that I've seen around for many, many years. And these optical illusions can appear to be two different things, depending on which way you look at them. So this application asks the pupils what is their first impression, what did they see first, and it records that. It also records their gender and their age group, and when the activity has been completed, and it doesn't take long, it takes less than 2 minutes, the pupil is presented with all the data collected by everyone who's done this activity. And then the data in a very sort of raw format can be used by the pupil to do all sorts of analysis, to plot some graphs and charts, or just sort of scan through the data and see if they can make any assumptions. And the data is also given in a format that can be copy and pasted into a spreadsheet so that they can get the spreadsheet to do the number crunching for them and concentrate on their hypotheses and their ideas of whether there is a connection between age and whether you see a skull or a woman in a mirror first. That's one of the optical illusions. Anyway, it's difficult to explain, so give it a go and feedback any ideas that you have.
You are listening to the Transum Podcast.
Number 2, the second major new thing that's gone up this last month, is called Weekly Workout. And these are 30-minute past paper type questions or little papers for pupils working at the foundation level for the new GCSE 9-1 exams. These papers have all got 7 questions on. The first 6 can be answered online, and the system marks instantaneously so they can see whether they've got the answer right or wrong. But the 7th question is a little bit more substantial and requires maybe drawing a graph or doing a construction. And the teacher needs to have a look at that to give the pupil some feedback. So there are 7 created right now, and 1 is being added every week, if I can keep that up. So feel free to print those out and enjoy those with your Year 11 students working towards their exam. And of course that's for foundation level, but there are already 20 similar sort of past paper type exercises for the higher level candidates, with questions that are sort of they're pushing the limits, and they're based on the specimen materials that the boards have produced for this new GCSE 9-1 exam that's coming up in May.
You can find Transom Mathematics at www.transom.org.
Number 3, the third new activity is called Brainbox. And this is another number arranging puzzle. It was devised by Les Page, who came up with Zygo. And it's been adapted as an interactive online puzzle. So the students obviously get feedback whether they've got it right or wrong. And there are 12 levels, plus a few hidden bonus levels if you manage to do level 12. And they're arranged, obviously, in order of increasing difficulty. And it's quite interesting to find the efficient solving strategies. So when you do it at first, it's a bit haphazard, but then you start to work out that maybe it's best to do solve the little puzzles in a certain order. Anyway, I'll leave it to you to find out, but that's fine for anyone from year 5 up to pensioners. Number 4, Plinko probability it's called, and basically this is just a simulation of the Galton board where the balls are dropped from the top of a rack and they bounce on little pegs and fall down into pots at the bottom. It's a simulation that the variables can be adjusted, and it's a great introduction to the normal distribution for pupils at that end of the secondary school. So have a look at that, give it a go. Oh, by the way, the links to all of these activities that I'm talking about are in the newsletter that goes with this podcast. Simply go to transom.org/newsletter, and there you'll see the text and the links to these new activities. Okay, number 5, advanced trigonometry. The reason it's advanced is because rather than the SOHCAHTOA right-angle triangle trigonometry, this exercise involves the sine rule, the cosine rule, and the sine formula for finding the area of a triangle. So the questions have been carefully thought out and arranged in increasing order of difficulty, and culminating in exam-style questions. So that's been a new addition this last month as well. Number 6, Triangle Solver. Wow, what a powerful application this is. A large triangle is presented, which you can project onto your whiteboard. And unlike other triangle solvers that are around, this one allows you to drag the vertices to make the triangle roughly the shape of the one in the question that you're doing, or the whatever situation you're involved with. So it does actually look like that triangle. And you can then enter 3 measurements, a mixture of sides and angles. And then, within a blink of an eye, the other measurements magically appear when you click the confirm button, and the triangle is solved. So that has obvious applications for pupils practicing trigonometry, whether it be right-angled trigonometry or not. But it's, and Pythagoras, of course, but it's also a great resource and has been tested with students learning construction skills with rulers and a pair of compasses. And it also works well for younger pupils practicing drawing angles using a protractor. You can set up a situation on the board. Let's say you could make the base of the triangle 13 centimeters, and then the angle on the left 50 degrees and the angle on the right 70 degrees. And the class then draw that completed triangle, and they then measure the left sloping side. You can then confirm and solve the triangle on the board, and it's a little bit of fun to see who can get closest to the actual or the calculated value of the side from their scale drawings. So that's well worth a look. It's called Triangle Solver, and again the link is in transom.org/newsletter. Finally, number 7, Chrismaths has come. Yes, this is not strictly a new resource. It's been around for many years, but it's certainly been updated. So don't be tempted to waste those last few maths lessons of this term on non-mathematical activities, because there are plenty of festive Yuletide mathematical treats in this collection. Give that a go. Finally, the answer to this month's puzzle is, well, you have to find all the numbers, all the two-digit numbers, whose square and cube both end in the same digit. Well, you will instantly realize, I'm sure, that any number ending in a 0, any two-digit number ending in a 0, the square of that number and the cube of that number will also end in a 0. And there will, of course, be 9 of those from 10 up to 90. So there are 9 two-digit numbers that end in a 0. But also the numbers that end in a 1 have the same properties. So there are 9 two-digit numbers that end in a 1. There are 9 two-digit numbers that end in a 5, and there are 9 two-digit numbers that end in a 6 that you might have missed. Anyway, that's 4 9s, 36. The answer to the puzzle is 36. So enjoy the Christmas holiday and enjoy the Christmaths activities. Bye.
Thank you for downloading and listening to the Transum podcast. You can find the website at www.transum.org, where you're welcome to use all of the activities absolutely free, or jump in with both feet and become a Transum subscriber.